Welcome back to my channel. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Susan and this is Shallow Space. So what we do here basically is we help one another. It's more like a platform for helping women. We stay connected. I share my story, tell you about how I've been able to adapt to a whole lot of things that has helped me over the time. But like I said, this is a progressive growth session where I come to share with you things about relationship, and I come to share with you things about me being a Nigerian and living in Nigeria for those who actually do not have the system that backs them up. So welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I know a whole lot of you would have joined because of the caption in which you saw relationship flags you shouldn't ignore. Now, I had to bring this out because I found out that we are all guilty of it. Trust me, a whole lot of us were guilty. And it's so bad that we see these red flags, but because we want to tell ourselves a lie, we end up staying in places we are not supposed to stay. Even though it could be toxic to us, even though it could make us feel less of a woman. I am not perfect. That's one thing I would say. We all have our flaws. No one is perfect. But these strategies have actually helped me because like they say, experience is the best teacher. We all know that relationship is between two persons or more. It could be maybe work relationship. It could be maybe romantic relationship. It could be family relationship and all of that. So I actually did some jotting down and I want to share with you. So these are what we tend to come across a lot. One of it is gaslighting. Now, gaslighting, if I would read from my book, gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse or manipulation in which the abuser sows self-doubt and confusion in the victim's mind to gain power and control over them. We experience this a lot. Gaslighting. We tend to come across gaslighting a whole lot. Trust me. You know when someone is trying to make you feel like you are asking too much. Someone is trying to make you feel like you do not worth them, or maybe you do not worth what they bring. This is gaslighting. This is what it's a basic trick. People use it even in business, people use it even in romantic relationship, even family uses it. So how can you be able to know? First, you have to understand that this is actually gaslighting. Let me tell you a little bit of my own story. So I used to date this person, and he always made me feel like I do not amount to anything. He made me feel like I was less, and then he does these things and it actually automatically affected me psychologically. So I believe I was not worth what he was expecting me to be. Then I was putting in too much pressure on myself and I was trying to meet up with his own criteria, forgetting that I was losing myself in the process. And this then actually made me develop what they call low self-esteem. And I believed I am entitled to every bad things that happen. Yeah, exactly. So they do that. They try to take your power and have it to them, and then they break you with it. You have to understand that this is actually toxic. It's a toxic trait. Sorry about that. The next one is what they call proxy settling. Now, proxy settling is what many people come across. Proxy settling is you being a form of replacement, even when you are not supposed to be a replacement. This way, you are in this relationship with this person, but they do not give you the attention that you need. So they are more emotionally completely attached to you. They just see you more like, oh, let me have this person here and let me just go on with my life. And by the time I get what I want, I could easily replace the person. A whole lot of ladies go through this, trust me, even men too. This is not just for ladies, it's also for men, but anybody who is actually going through abuse and relationship. Take for instance, you're dating somebody and then the person, you know that, okay, this person is just using you as a form of replacement. They always come with this kind of trait. whenever you're having a conversation, they always want to refer to the ex, maybe that maybe make them feel okay, you are not enough for me, or maybe the ex they're trying to get back, or maybe someone whom they actually have in their mind. But because they cannot attain there, they use you as a form of replacement, pending when they will get to that place and then be with a person. That is really a toxic trait, trust me, and almost every relationship experiences that. Yeah, being a replacement can be one horrible thing you could do to a person. That's why I would advise people, if you know you are not ready to be emotionally and physically connected to that person, it's best you don't do it. But like I said, the world actually needs a whole lot of cleansing, because everybody now already has this mindset that, oh, I'm just going to use you for this time being. I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to do that. So proxy settling is actually one toxic trait or relationship flags you shouldn't ignore. The third one is inconsistency in emotions. Emotions are actually feelings conveyed through actions. That's how I'll put it for me. So if you are not emotionally connected to me and you're making me always want to feel like I need to get your attention, I need to work too hard. Let me give you a scenario. Have you ever found yourself in this situation where you are actually in a relationship with someone, your partner, and you went out for a date, or maybe you're having a communication, and you always feel that there is this drift between the two of you? You will always find yourself saying or thinking, how come you are here but you are not here? That rings a bell, right? Exactly. Inconsistency in emotions is draining. Trust me, most of the things I come here to share on my YouTube channel is basically most of the things I have gone through. And I have seen that this can be toxic to a point that some persons are not even emotionally capable to be able to like stand situations like this. You start asking yourself this question like, oh, did I do something wrong? Oh, is it that I didn't do this? Or I didn't really handle this? Or am I not looking? Or you start putting a whole lot of pressure on yourself. Just makes you look like, nah, I don't even think I'm even worth it in this relationship. Oh, nah, I don't even think I deserve someone better. When you see this red flag, please run. But before you do, make sure to understand that your partner is not going through something. Because most times they say some persons bottle up emotions. A whole lot of persons bottle up emotions. Like I said, this is a safe space for me. Most times I bottle up my own emotions because of what I have gone through. So I'm beginning to learn that you have to let the other person know how you're settling. When you understand, look, let me tell you something before I continue. Every one of us will have what they call gut feeling. Your gut feeling will tell you if this is actually going to be reasonable at the end, if it's actually going to like be something that you would treasure, or if it's something that means you run. Most times you get this gut feeling and we call it's butterflies in our stomach. Most times they're not butterflies, they're your gut feeling telling you flee. Flee, girl, flee, man. Do you understand? So when you understand and when you observe, this actually is either maybe gaslighting, or maybe the person is actually not always there emotionally for you, or keeping you by proxy settling. The best you could do, if you had tried to talk to them and then you see that there is no response or there is no change, make a decision that favors you. If you need to leave, please do. If you need to still wait and stand, but trust me, you cannot actually groom a grown-up human. Yes, you can actually groom a child and then you bring them up into the way that you want, but a grown-up person, it's their own decision to make. So why don't you let go of all the stress and then, move forward? So another one is abuse, either verbally or physically. I frown most times when I see ladies go through abuse, even men too. But most times it's ladies that come out and then we talk about it, because men have been trained in the point where they have to bottle down emotions and show no one. There are certain scenarios that happen in a woman's life and you see her crying freely, but a man would abuse. My own part, I have been abused, but not no, not physical abuse where I was beaten up. I Once I see the traits, I automatically leave. I don't care, because anyone, a man who would raise his hand on a woman, trust me, I see you more like a monster. Yes, like I said, I grew up in an abusive home. So once I see the traits, no, you don't even need to explain. and I don't even need to talk to you. But one thing I know that I am guilty of, that I did not really follow, but I'm beginning to learn, is when you want to get into a relationship with someone, have this at the back of your mind. Ask them question about their childhood. Yeah, ask them. Most times you know how a person turns out because of the way they were raised or in the environment in which they were raised. Ask them about their childhood. Then listen to them and observe the way they treat other people. Observe the way they actually treat their own parents and siblings. Then you would know what you're dealing with. But me on my case, I really didn't ask. Most times you just start talking and then maybe I get, oh, how about we go out? Oh, okay, let's date and all that. And then I walk through. So I was guilty of that. That's why I'm coming out now to tell everyone. If you really want to be in a relationship, you should consider these pointers. So I was trying to talk about my own part. I was abused psychologically in the point where I was made to feel I was not enough. And I was also abused in the parts where I said, okay, you are my man. I should be honest with you, 100%. And then I told this person some things about me that I felt, okay, you should know because we are actually trying to walk through this relationship journey together. Guess what? He ended up using my information I shared with him to blackmail me. Yeah. So ever since then, and I have been so careful. I will tell you things, but I would rather protect me more because anything can happen. So abuse, please run. Verbally, I would not condone. If you're verbally be abused, if you're like when you know you're beaten up, you're abused that way, I would really suggest you talk to someone whom you can really confide in. And if you feel you need to involve the authorities just so that you get yourself protected and all that, because you should. If not, a lot of people die in silence and I wouldn't want anybody dying. So do what you know you have to do. If you need to seek therapist, please do because it does a lot to your mental health. To have someone you can confide in. Now these people are just scared. You end up confiding in somebody and then they use it as mockery on you tomorrow. So you don't blame people when they bottle up things, but if you know that one person you can actually confide in, I would still tell you one person you can confide in is God. He will really help you through because like I said, I'm a work in progress and I'm still a benefit of everything that he's been doing for me and that I have gone through. So do not neglect abuse. And the last one is no compatibility. Most times, a whole lot of us were like, okay, well, he's a fine guy. Oh, she's a cutie. I think we're actually going to make like the best couple. But hello, hold up, pause. Have you sat down to see if two of you actually flow? Yeah. Even the Bible said it. Can two work together except they agree? Work with, or maybe I can compromise. So you have to be sure that you compact, like you connect in maybe things that regards to lifestyle, your ideology, your mental thinking, every other thing that maybe like your likes and all that. If you can blend and all, be sure that you know you're on the right path. That would actually help you to know that's where compatibility comes in. So these are few pointers that I brought up. There are a whole lot of them, but I had to narrow some and share with you. Because like I say, I talk about my own experience and then I bring it here. So I talked about gaslighting initially, but I want to make a strong point example of gaslighting. I know I used just my own experience. Now, an example of gaslighting is and then maybe you call them cheating or something and then you present them with proof and they still lie about that, making you feel maybe you're the one overthinking. Now that's an example of gaslighting. If you have experienced that, trust me, you've been gaslighted over and over again. So these are just a few pointers that I need to share with you in red flags not to avoid in a relationship. And if you're already experiencing it or you are saying the pointers and narrow down some pointers in which will help you so that you know what to do. Number one, be certain. I remember I said earlier that be sure they are not this particular person. But if you have tried to talk to them and you see that, okay, this, no, they have chosen to be, then you know you already have your facts right. That's number one. Number two, you get some space. After you've spoken to them, communicated, and then you see there is no changes, and they keep doing over and over again, making you feel like, oh, you're the one overthinking. Cut off from them. Give yourself space. If you need to get off the relationship for a while, think, breathe, exhale and all that. Come back and probably just get the space. It will help you think clearly. Number three, get proofs, especially when you are abused, like you're beaten up physically. Please get proof so that when you go to make a complaint, you could actually have something to say, oh, this is actually gotten that, and you're very certain. Be confident about yourself. After the proof, be confident. Do not let any negative thoughts sink in, because when it does, trust me, you become a product of what you've been told of who you are. So you need to learn to stay focused. That's where focusing on yourself comes in. Focus on your self-growth. Analyze yourself. If you need to connect with people, do that. If you need to like share your views, if you need to like confide in somebody, you should do that. And I believe that would actually help you and take you through the journey so you're not alone. Okay, so I do hope I can come here next time to share more insights with you, but please do not forget, family, to subscribe, like, and share so that I can always come back with new content to share with you all. Until then, I wish you a wonderful day. Be safe and be happy because you are worth it. Please show me love, subscribe to my channel, like and share. There are a whole lot of person going through traumas and relationship and they cannot talk to anyone. So I'm here to be an open book so that you can actually talk to me and I can help you in the ways in which I know that I can and in the way in which I know I have helped myself. I love you and stay happy. Bye.